I had to confront my own fears and weaknesses, or I could never have defeated you. It's not whether you win or lose, it's how you play the game.
Alright, welcome back to More Force, showing you how to react with more force. Doing another morning stream, as always. And this time, we're going to be reacting to Young Ripper 59, also known as Eric July. Pretty sure this video, he's talking about child mutilation. And what do I mean by that? Well, for those who, aren't up to the uptake, I'm speaking of trying to convince children to go trans and chop off their privates. I'll just leave it as that, as children. Now, if you're 18 years old plus, I have no problem with that. Well, I'll take it back. I do have a problem with it, but I don't care. You do what you want. I will never agree to that. I think it's stupid, but whatever. You do you. You're 18 plus. You're an adult now. If you still think you want to do that at 18, by all means, do it. But anything younger, hell no. Because if you happen to change your mind, GG's. There's no fixing that. You will now have a life problem that you will have to pay for through pharmaceutical companies. You will have to pay to essentially keep yourself normal if you end up changing your mind. And that is why you need to have an informed decision and only make this decision at 18. Or, make the step at 18 plus. So, we're going to go live reacting to Young Ripper, because I'm pretty sure he's reacting to some other VTuber. I'm not throwing shade at VTubers, but if this, I haven't seen it yet, but if this dude is seriously going to try to argue that it's okay for children to do this, then yeah, I'm going to throw shade. Because then you are the part of the problem. In the same example, that's like saying that a child can consent to having having intercourse, there we go, with an adult. Because they feel like they are in love with that person. Exact same argument, life-changing decision. They don't understand how that's going to F them up in the future. Anyways, going live. All I know is that from the first minute, not a minute, a few seconds, I saw the VTuber was calling Ripper a transphobe, of course. And of course, these people don't even understand the definition of what a phobia means. That's an irrational fear. It's not an irrational fear of trans people. It is literally just wanting children to be more informed and having the life-changing decision when they're an adult. Until then, they need to do the due diligence and inform themselves on the pros and cons of making this transition. That's it. And pushing for anything otherwise makes you a freak. Just keeping it 100. Anyways. Reacting to Young Ripper 59 child mutilation. There we go. The very turn off the collab. Very inflamed title there, but you gotta put it out like that, because that's what it is. And again, saying anything otherwise is disingenuous and is essentially you trying to argue for children to harm themselves without making an informed decision. So the I keep forgetting to go by Young Ripper. It's Eric July. There we go, Eric July. Hashtag VTuber. I probably won't be able to get through the entire thing because I think it was like a 30-minute video, and I'm on my way to work. Put in my VTuber tags. There we are. Tweet this out. All right. Going live. We're going live. Going live with Young Ripper 5'9". Yep, there it is. 36 minutes. Sheesh. I definitely don't have the time for the entire thing.
Apparently, my mild take of saying child mutilation is bad has kicked this sort of nest of a bunch of degenerates, gay furries and whatnot, and they have doing a bunch of videos and they have some interesting things to say. So there's the one guy, Ripper vs. Goalpost did post about guy. I don't know what this person identifies as. It's not actually important to me.
Nope.
But they had some interesting things to say about myself. So what we're going to do is go through some of these videos and see what it is that they're going to say. As I've said many times before, look, man, if you're creative in my space, you're going to have folks that are going to say things about you negatively. I say, why let them do it for free? We might as well make some money off of these degenerates. So let's see what this person has to say. Let's watch the first video real quick. We'll go through some others. Let's get to it.
Alrighty, so apparently we got to talk about the Spider-Verse trailer because reasons, I guess. I wasn't aware that was a thing we're going to be talking about.
No, it's not because reasons. It's because subliminally they are pushing a narrative that it's okay to mutilate your child. That is why we're talking about it. Again, being disingenuous.
Not at any point, but you know, apparently it's important.
It is.
Apparently it's important, at least according to Young Ripper 59, who has a channel with 500.
It's these kind of people that either are willfully ignorant or lying, pretending that it's not important. Because who's going to see the movie? Children. And who's going to see the subliminal messages? Children. And when those children grow up without making the informed decision because they're being told, oh, this is right, this is what you should do. Anyways, I'm impressed by it. I can't keep pausing. I don't have time for this, but I'm already getting a little triggered, just a little bit.
Much to do with that character that I understand is many of y'all's favorite tokenized character.
Tokenized character. Miles Morales.
He is
tokenized character.
Yes.
You know, the guy who literally took on the mantle of Spider-Man in the Ultimate Universe for the longest time.
A token character.
Definitely a token. You know,
yes.
Definitely. Maybe you don't know the definition of token.
No, you don't.
I've defined it very thoroughly.
Very
dumb son of a bitch. You can go watch my video. It's actually titled, I believe, Tokenism and Tokenization Explained. Now, I don't care how a degenerate uses the term. It's actually not important to it at all. If you want to understand what it is that I'm referring to regarding the race swaps, you can go ahead and watch that video. They exist. There's several videos out there that exist. I've defined this very thoroughly. It's not just a catch-all term that I use just willy-nilly. So you're free to go watch that.
Okay, sure. Why not?
That's not what this is about.
No. Protect trans kids. That's what it says. Protect trans kids. That's fine.
No, it's not.
What's the problem with a flag that says protect trans?
Because trans kids don't exist.
Exactly.
Most people
they don't
who are
exist.
trans find out that they are trans.
They are children who are confused about themselves and are being pushed by modern day society to think that they are trans. No, but most likely they are probably either just a tomboy or a tomgirl. There are plenty of stories of tomboys and tomgirls being told that they were trans, but no, they just let them grow until they're 18 and they're like, no, I don't want to go trans. I'm fine how I am. I'm just a little bit more masculine, a little bit more feminine. That's all it is. That's all. These freaking people.
trans between the ages of 4 and 6. This is pretty well.
That's telling me that it's a learned trait. Certainly, if that is to be the case. Of course, I will be very precise about my language here. When I talk about trans kids and them not existing, I'm speaking to the transitionary stuff. And this is something that, again, is a learned trait. And when you consider the biological,
they are taught to do
sex,
this.
we're only doing that because they like to use gender. Sex, they're not
all the time.
The way they use it. But nonetheless,
not that they are it.
When you have someone that thinks that they are something else, that they're not, definitely a youngster, when you consider that they're young and they can be going through all sorts of different things, I'm willing to bet that I thought I was a Ninja Turtle or something like that growing up. It's not legitimate. It's not something that needs to be validated, certainly considering that I am not a freaking Ninja Turtle by any means. It's cool to have fun and do little stuff like that. But like as far as who exactly that I am, we don't apply this logic to anything else. But for whatever reason, when it comes to this subject matter, all logic goes out the window where we would allow a young person that is talking about how they find out when they're 4 to 6, maybe talk about the parents or the teachers or something of that nature. But we would not allow that to be like a permanent, not a permanent thing in the sense of, because they're going to say, well,
you could
puberty blockers is reversible and all of that stuff. We'll get to that in a minute. But
it is not fully reversible. There will be side effects. And to pretend that there aren't is disingenuous. And again, misinformed and uninformed. And that is what they're pushing children to do. Making misinformed and uninformed choices that can change their life entirely. But Big Pharma won't care about that. They're making bank off of idiots like you. Not Young Ripper, but this dude that is, I don't know what's wrong with there being trans kids, because there's no trans kids. It's a learned thought. Anyways.
But as far as like doing something to their body, for even cosmetically, to change something like that, it's not anything that we would accept in any sort of given other idea, no matter who it is that they thought they were. But for whatever reason, with the gender subject, we're supposed to say that they have the capacity at 4 years of age to make that, to determine that, and then it is on these adults who should have the mental capacity to sort of steer them in a lane and allow them to like live out this sort of weird concept of them being something.
I remember when I was little, I wanted to be Sonic the Hedgehog. I would like cut out paper ears, put on a hat, run around pretending that I'm Sonic. Or sometimes pretend that I'm Tails. I remember when I wanted it to be Mario. So as a child, should my should they had injected me or allowed me to go through surgery so that I can look more like my hero at the time, Sonic the Hedgehog or Mario, who of course changed because I realized that those were fictional characters. This is fiction. It's not real. I'll leave it at that.
Something it is that they are not. You're attempting to normalize the hate, that position. A lot of degenerates are. My argument is that cannot happen unless you have adults gearing them in that way.
Grooming.
At that young age. As an adult, they can make whatever decision, and that's a drastic sort of decision. They can make that, or a drastic change. They can make that decision.
I'll disagree. But by all means, make your choice. If you want to do what I believe is going to F up your life, you do it.
People who are trans,
if you're an adult, I do not care.
Tend to go on puberty blockers in order to buy themselves time to see if they actually are trans or not.
Again, the fact that we're even like these people, it's good that these persons VTuber, they're not going to put themselves out there. Lord knows what the hell is on their hard drive and all kinds of other weird stuff. Nonetheless, like think about that. Like he's talking about it like it's normal. Like we're going to do something. Your body is supposed to do, like you are built that way. God made you in the way that you are, and it's something that is supposed to happen. It's not. We're not talking about like cancer.
Hey, Pinky, I didn't expect you to be up this early. It's 5 a.m. where I'm at. Welcome. So as you go by the title, it's a definitely inflamed title. 420. Oh, sheesh. What are you up? What? Why are you up? Could it be me, Pinky? I'm up because I'm on my way to work. And I like to do these like morning streams for like 30 minutes or so. All right, so I'm reacting to this video from one of my favorite creators, Young Ripper 59, who has created his own comic book company from the ground up. Released his first comic book during a crowdfund. He made $3.7 million on his comic book that he raised by himself through his own company that he built by himself. Thank you. So, and this guy, he's reacting because he made he shared his opinions on what was in the Spider-Verse trailer subliminally, like in the corner, and he wanted to talk about it. And of course, some idiot on YouTube is calling him inflammatory names, saying he's transphobic or he's anti-trans, yada 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 yada, all this bullshit. Anyways, this is my opinion. I don't know if you have the same opinion, Pinky, but this is my opinion. Until you're 18 plus, nothing should happen to you that could permanently change your life. Until you're 18 plus, until you're a legal adult. That is my opinion. And I think it's a very rational opinion because there are many things that children say and do when they're young that they change their mind on. For instance, I said this earlier, when I was little, I loved Sonic the Hedgehog. I would cut out, I still love Sonic the Hedgehog, but I would like cut out like paper ears and pretend I was Sonic, pretend I was Tails, run around and everything. Now, if my parent was irresponsible, they would have, I don't know, injected me with substances to make me feel like I'm more like Sonic, wouldn't they? Because I know what I want when I'm 4, 8, 12 years old. I know what I want then. I totally didn't say I wanted to be an astronaut when I was 4, 8, or 12, and now I'm a comic book artist. Queen Shari, welcome back. Thank you so much for the likes.
Cancer or something that is going to, let's say, harm their bodies. We're talking about something that, you know, as a growing person, a growing child, this is what's going to happen to your body. It is as natural gets. And you're saying that, or talking as if it's normal, to give them something that either prevents that growth or
such is the life of a
growth.
working man's
That's not
Pinky.
normal, dude. These are kids, man. That is not a normal thing.
That I would not say live, Pinky. But I will just say it's just a normal 9-to-5 job, nothing special. Something that I will get out of because I'm working on things on the side. But for now, you gotta do what you gotta do. You got bills to pay, yada yada yada.
They operate as trans to see if that is what works for them, or if they actually are cis and it's just a phase for them.
Oh my lord.
So the argument is, and you've heard this made before, is that they're using trans. Trans to them means even it transition in anything. So whether they do it physically to their bodies or they do it socially, that is considered trans to them.
Figured that out. That's what the puberty blockers are for. It buys them that time, and then for the duration of that time, and even afterwards, if we figure out that that's the case, the term we would use for them is trans kids.
Oh my
now,
gosh.
There are people who will take umbrage to that.
The mental gymnastics, but that you have to go through to justify this, means that it is not real. It means that this is a taught thought to children. And to try to quantify this or legitimize this is dangerous. There are plenty of stories of children being taught this from their young, growing up, making the change, growing up and realizing, Holy shit. I fucked up. What's up, Valentine? Welcome, welcome. Don't know if you'll enjoy this subject too much, but I appreciate you joining in either way. Just sharing my opinions here on the internet. Yes. Like this is what I said earlier. They should be taught exactly what will happen, the pros and cons, the possible side effects, and the legitimate side effects of doing this. And when they hit 18, if they still want to make the choice, whatever. It's their choice at that time. But until then, they should not be going through this transition.
Particular way that I'm describing a kid and say that kids aren't trans because kids shouldn't transition. And you're right, but kids don't transition, at least not in the ways that you give
Yes,
kids.
they do.
Most of the ways that you would
Yes, they do.
transition,
And that is the problem.
A kid is socially going on puberty blockers.
So
not
it's basically
transitioning.
allowing them to
But we're
live
talking-
in this world that and this is what they would take issue with, but this is my position on this, just to be very clear, is that whatever fantasy that kid has fixated in their mind, whether it be learned trait or something that they stumbled upon, which is not the case hardly ever.
Again, when I was young, I wanted to be Sonic the Hedgehog. I wanted to be Mario. I wanted to be an astronaut. Of course, all of those things changed because I grew up.
You're supposed to sort of validate that and allow them to, not even that, it's not just allowing them to grow or anything, it's more of you are giving them stuff medically.
Something that is artificial, something that is not natural, to stop their growth. And for anyone to argue that is okay, that there's no side effects to stopping somebody's natural growth, what do you mean? What could possibly happen? Wow.
That will alter their bodies. And you're supposed to do that, and there's no harm certainly in that, is the argument that these people are making.
Speaking about transitioning, we're talking about HRT, which is usually not given until the age of 16. We are talking.
All right, 16 is still a kid.
It's still a kid.
But
Still a child.
that's hormone replacement therapy is what he's referring to.
Oh, it is quite okay, Pinky. I appreciate you very much for joining the broadcast. I'm only going to be doing this for another 10 minutes out of the way because I'm on my way to work. I'm just about there. But if you're ever up again around this time, I'll say Monday through Wednesday and Friday, I do these morning streams. So by all means, hop in. Always at around this time, 5 to 5:30-ish. All right, have a great day, Pinky. And don't feel too tired. It's quite early. I don't know why you're still up. Oh, thank you so much, Pinky. I appreciate it.
$16 is still a kid. That's a minor.
About surgeries, which are usually not given until the age of 18.
All right,
Sorry,
so see, that's the gaslight right there.
Yep,
We know
that's
that
the
there are
gaslight.
documented cases
Yep.
that there has been top and even some bottom surgeries. We have documentation from insurance companies. We have actually detransitioners that have been talking about this. I spoke to one, or was a part of a panel where Chloe Cole was there. And she explained to us, it was myself, Cheryl Gonzalez, I can't remember who the third person was on the show. Might have been
Respect to you,
I
Ripper.
can't remember. But she discussed this. She had a double mastectomy at 15.
Yep.
See, this is the issue that I have with these freaking weirdos, because it's the gaslight of it all. It's not happening, and then at some point they're going to concede that it's happening, and they're going to say it should have been happening all the time.
Yep.
Right? This is how they kind of slow you in to taking this irrational position. but you are lying objectively by saying that those surgeries are not happening.
By that point, we're not talking about a kid anymore. We are talking about an adult. We're talking about somebody who's 16. We're talking about somebody who...
16 is not an adult. It's still a
16 is
child.
not an adult. Like, this guy might be on some other stuff. Let's look at this other video real quick.
That is a trans person.
This, like, literally, for him to think that 16 is an adult, what else is he doing since he thinks 16 is an adult? Nobody with a rational mind thinks that 16 is an adult. Not here in America. Not here in the West. So what else is he doing if he thinks 16 is an adult? I wonder.
That's what that is. Because trans is not short for transition when we're talking about this. Trans just means not cis.
Yeah.
No.
All right, so they're using it as a catch-all phrase to them.
It's not at all surprising.
It's just weirdos, you know, just people who are trans.
It doesn't
Noted
just
weirdos,
mean
I
that.
guess.
Again, being
The
disingenuous.
weirdos are people that go after children.
Yeah. Go after children, grooming children, telling children that it's okay to make permanent life changes to yourself, possible permanent life changes with side effects that they do not understand when they're children. Just like how a child can consent to intercourse with an adult because they do not understand what that will do to them as they grow up. They don't understand the mental ramifications for doing sexual acts that young. They can never understand that. That is why children cannot consent.
It's not a fallacy at all. It's not a fallacy at all. Let me stop there. That was the argument that people made decades ago, that we wouldn't be having this discussion right here. And as you can see right now, we are absolutely having that discussion where people are with this whole trans stuff are going after the children. You couldn't even leave them alone.
People, like they said, they were religious zealots.
They were religious zealots. They are religious
Remember, to this person,
They
16
call
is
them
an
whatever
adult.
you want to, but they were right.
And their other properties, they're doing a lot of the same stuff, at least the American Sony Pictures and whatnot. And look,
Also,
Soon enough,
thank you very much for reading your points.
To people like this, 15 would be an
But okay.
adult, 14 would be an adult, 13 would be an adult, 12 would be an adult.
but it is a
Who
very serious
knows?
one because you have people that are
If 16 is an adult now.
Something that needs to be normalized.
I think it does need to be normalized. Kids are just kids.
All right, so I'm dealing with someone that is an immoral person, like right off the rip. Like this is not a rational person.
Nope.
By any means, but at minimum, they are an immoral person if they believe that this behavior that they are putting on children should be normalized. And he just flat out says it again. I think there's a reason why this person has created some freaking weird avatar. We know you don't look like that by any means in person. You're a dude, from all accounts, for what you sound like. But nonetheless, it's I guess it's good that you're doing that, because what you're like, who you are in like real life and in actuality. And this isn't me being anti-VTuber or anti-anonymous. It's just in your case, considering the weird stuff that you're going out on a limb and taking a position on publicly, I guess it is best that you are a VTuber, so people don't know, are not able to tie like a real person to the positions and the claims. 'Cause I just have a hard time believing that you'd be willing to make those claims yourself.
Yep.
And have those claims, let's say, be actually tied to you as a human being, because that's a boring behavior.
Yeah.
And sometimes kids are gay. Sometimes kids are trans. There's nothing wrong with that. And in fact, allowing a support network for those kids is important in making
All right.
sure
Unfortunately, I was
that
only
they are
able to get to 10 minutes through to this video, mainly because I kept stopping. That's my fault. But you get the idea. I'm pretty sure there's more of that. Definitely check out Young Rapper 59 if you enjoyed my reaction to him speaking on this topic. You know where I stand on this. I also agree that trans kids don't exist as a taught thought. Children do not naturally come to this conclusion. They are taught this. It is quite obvious, and for you to think otherwise is disingenuous, and you are part of the problem. And I would say that you would probably go for, I won't say it. That'll be maybe too slanderous. I'll leave it at that. Anyways, the Rippa's video link will be in the description. Definitely check him out. Subscribe to him. And if you enjoyed my reaction, definitely subscribe to me and like the video. And if you're interested, check out my Twitter at @ForceMore, where that is where I'm uploading my comic book. Also, Hikari Rise of the Heavenly Demon. The prelude is being updated continuously up there. Anyways, I'll be seeing you guys next time. Life gets you down. A little more force. I'll be seeing you.